Welcome back to the channel. Today I will be starting to do the carpeting of the ply lining. I've come to my dear old mother's to use the garage because it's a windy day, so I'm going to hide in there and start carpeting the ply lining. Oh no, neighbours are either they're gonna see me talking to myself. I'll have to abort. I'll be back in a minute. I've got some quite large panels I'm going to carpet, and then the plan is to carpet the bits in between, if that makes sense. So most of it will be covered with the carpeted panels, and the bits between the panels and the roof I'll carpet separately. I'm at my mother's because it's very windy and I need to use a garage, so I'm going to be hiding in her garage today, carpeting. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. So one giant panel for the offside. Obviously there's no sliding door in there, so it's just one big panel. So that should cover a lot of surface. And then on the near side we have this. But it's had like boxes built of the ply over the arches, which I'll be keeping. But they've had like siliconed on, so I'm gonna have to clean all this off first. So I'll clean it all off, clean it down, give it a little light sand, and then I'll start to carpet, or attempt to carpet. But with all this, by the time I get that on, it should cover a large area of the van. There's possibly a 2-3 inch gap between the ceiling and that, which I will just run some carpet along. That's the idea anyway. Obviously a nice sharp chisel would be the best tool for this, but I haven't got one. I haven't got one with me here at my mum's, so I found an old wallpaper scraper. Seems to be doing the job. So this is a 4-way stretch carpet. It's really good stuff. I got it from the same place I got it for the caddy, which is Amazon, I think, but it's the metal house. I just got the same stuff because it worked really well last time. About 10 litres of carpet, but you get a shitload of spray, high temperature resistant spray. So everything you need is in there in the box. I think it was 100 quid for the lot, but it is good stuff. Ignore my mum's water supply for any Armageddon type situations. So random. Have you ever been in your mum's garage and had a look around? There's just random stuff everywhere, like plastic, shrubbery, and mounds of water. Right, so first things first, I'm going to measure an approximate measurement. Right, here we go. Time to start sticking stuff. I've done a rough cut, nothing too accurate. I'm going to stick most of it down and I'll flip it over, trim it off, and we should have our first panel done, hopefully. So if you haven't used this stuff before, it's really good stuff. You should really wear a mask, but I haven't got one, so I'm just going to hold my breath and then open the garage door and run out. Spray a thin layer, let it do its stuff for a little while, 20-30 seconds, and then put it on down. I'll do a layer here and then I'll move on through the board. Here we go. Get this first edge stuck down. I've trimmed the edge, nice and neat now, well, neat enough, all the way around, and then we're going to start chopping bits off. So around the corners I put little triangles in, and that just helps bend it around the corner. Once I've got one part done, glued, I'll move on to the next section, and so on and so forth. So when you're cutting your little triangles, remember, if you can, I mean, I'm not telling you how to suck eggs. Some people will be probably watching this and think I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just watching it just to laugh because you're useless. But for those who don't know, and for some reason have found this video, little tip is not to go all the way to the edge there, otherwise it's going to leave a hole. So I just put a little triangle, and I come off about an inch, half inch off the board, and then when I lift that over, it helps, but it's just, I've still got plenty of room here. That makes sense. Plenty of carpet here. I don't know whether you can see properly in this light, but this is what I tend to do on a normal corner, normal square corner, is I'll just cut the line like this, and then that just helps me fold that over there, fold that over there, with enough carpet there. If you cut that too close, then you're gonna get the edge poking through in a hole, which looks ugly and horrible. So foldy, and that's got plenty of carpet there. Obviously once it's glued down, it'll be neater still. That's the idea. Started using cardboard so my mum doesn't brain me and she sees there's glue all over the floor. I'm probably wobbling you there, Anna. It's 4-way stretch carpet, so it's designed to stretch. So I always like I'm like an expert or something. What I like to do is I try to pull the carpet tight, just so it's really pulled on the edge as I stick it. I've put you in the wrong place, haven't I? You're going to be wobbling all over the place. There's one panel done. Looks a bit wonky on camera, but it's not. It's just the way the carpet is. The pile of the carpet's brushed, but quite pleased with that. Looks nice and smart. So I've made a boo-boo. Quite a big boo-boo. Luckily it's just with I've only done one panel, and the thing is I put insulation in the van, sound deadening on the floor and then the floor down, so it's probably lifted it 10 mil, and I have a feeling these panels were flush with the floor and the ceiling, so that means I should have shaved 10 mil off these before carpeting. Like I say, luckily it's my first one, so if needs be, I'll try and strip off one side of the bottom of the top and knock 10mm off it. But what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to try it in the van. See how it goes, see how it fits. I might be lucky, but probably not. Dickhead. Quite lucky, it fits just. So, yeah. The big one, it does fit at a push and a squeeze, but I'm going to get the jigsaw on it and take 5mm off the bottom of it, and then that'll just make sure it definitely does fit, because once the carpet goes on you're going to get another mil, aren't you? A couple of mil or whatever. So lucky. So last night I managed to do the big panel, a few other panels, but before I can fit them I need to try and carpet along the top, a little thin line where the side panel will meet the ceiling, and again on the bottom. So I'm going to be taking these lashing points off and carpeting these little bits. I've got the arch covers, but these bits are still exposed when the arch cover goes on, so I'm going to have to do them now. And then hopefully I can get the side panels in, screw the floor down, and we'll be starting to look a little bit better in here, a little bit cozier. Aim off nice and easy. That's some mega bolt, that. So this bit was super rough. I mean, the weld on it is atrocious. Looks like a tank weld. So I'm going to try and use the last few little bits of scrap pieces of liner I've got to make a little bit of a better surface to carpet, because it's like I say, it'll be exposed. So I'm going to have to carpet over here. Yeah. So we've gone from that big ugly chunky bits sticking out over to that, which is going to be much neater when the panels go on and the arch goes on, hopefully. Quite happy with the finish of that. As you can see, I'm trying to pretty much patch in where the board and the floor are going to meet. So it looks a bit strange at the moment, but when the side panels are on and the floor and the ceiling are in, that should all make sense, I'm hoping. I am going to come back and do all these back doors, all this frame around here. But that's going to be a job on its own, because I need to do all the ceiling first and the bulkhead to see how much carpet I've got left. Do the big bits first, so to speak. Screwed up a little bit there. I've cut it a nice neat line down here, but obviously when I've put the rubber on, you can still see the paint. I should have allowed another maybe 10 mil on the inside of the rubber. I can sort it. I can put another little line of carpet down there. You won't be able to tell. I'll come back to it. But yeah, quite annoying. So if you're doing it, just remember to come out a bit under the rubber on this side, not over and out the other side. Otherwise, the water will get in. But well, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? But anyway, you get me. So for the screw holes, top tip, I use paper clips. So I'll just stick a paper clip through, like so. I keep it like straight but bent at the same time, if that makes sense. Yeah, so not too much of a bend on one side because you need to be able to get it out. Just bend them over like this. And I know where the screw holes are for when I'm screwing it into the ply. Arch covers all done. I'm pretty chuffed with that. Awkward, very awkward. I chose to not have a seam on the top and have the seam on the side, which you can see, but I think I've done a decent enough job. Obviously it hasn't finished off there, but I'll go in there. So I've wasted an hour this morning looking for the right fitting, but I finally found it by going to my mate's garage. Massive shout to Adrian at the Redcar Auto Performance. Lifesaver as usual. He always saves my ass all the time. Must be sick of me. But anyway, we've got the right fitting. So I've done the other one on the other side, and just to make sure I didn't destroy the van, I thought I'd video this one and do the other one as a tester. It's awful. It's awful taking trim off. It just sounds like everything's breaking, but so it's just a 10 mil Dodo fitting, I'm going to call it, or a what's me bob. You lift that up with a trim tool. Be careful because it's only thin at the top. Get your little Dodo, what's me call it, in there. Loosen that off. Alright. It feels really wrong taking seatbelts off for somebody who isn't mechanically minded, or, well, who has no skills whatsoever, to be fair. This is quite a scary job for me. But I have looked at other videos and it seems to be pretty straightforward. So let's see. So there you go, seatbelts off. That'll just rest down. Now the scary bit, the awful bit. Getting this off. I tried to use a trim tool, but the trim tool didn't seem to want to play. Oh, that one seems to work better. Yeah, it pops off there. And then the rest is just kind of like a pray to God and hope it doesn't break kind of thing. That's awful. off. Let's see where the fitting is. It's onto the side. I'm gonna try and pull it equally so it doesn't snap. Oh, it's gonna snap in it. I know it's gonna snap. I have to like silicone it on or something. Oh, what an awful job pulling my van apart. That didn't sound good, did it? It didn't sound good, but it's all right. See, I was gonna carpet behind here while I had him off, but I think I've bottled it. I'm just gonna put the trim back on and carp it up to the trim, and then use a Stanley blade to cut it short. And the problem is I'm picking my little girl up from school soon, and I want this seatbelt secure, and I don't want to mess around too much. This one's going to be really awkward to get to. I might need a little spanner. What we don't want to do is drop this bolt into the inside of the van, because that would suck. That would be bad. It's a rattle forever. And I have no confidence that I'm not going to drop this bolt. My finger-thumb coordination is already losing massive confidence in the grip. Oh, there we are. Woo. And then it's off. So this is where we're at right now. Large panel is going in, and I'm going to try and screw that in, hopefully to the original holes the ply was in. As you can see, I've put my little staples in as a guide, and then the smaller panel again. And then if I get these two in today, I'm going to try and put the roof in as well. This panel here is for that part of the lower sliding door, but I'll come back to that because I'm going to do all the doors separately, back doors, etc, etc. Right, so I've put 1, 2, 3, 4 screws in. That's it. It's pretty solid. Oh, 5 screws. One hasn't got a cap on. I need to sort that. 5 screws in total. So the ones that I haven't needed to use, because I've just put the paper clips in, I'll just pull straight out. No harm done. Well, that's it. 99.9% carpeted. I've still got a few little bits I want to do, but this is the carpeting video, so that's about it. It's done. Quite chuffed with that. It's an easy enough job, just time consuming, but the van is now in a state where I'm able to use it, and I'm hoping to get away in about 2 weeks to Scotland on a big Scottish adventure. So if you're sick of the van stuff and you want to watch me climbing up a mountain and talking to a sheep, you know, the usual top quality content, then watch out for that. But yeah, I'm thinking of going to the Isle of Skye, up to is it Knoydart or some I want to go up north, top of Scotland, and go and explore 3 or 4, 5 days. So just have a loose plan and use the van as a home base, but I'll be spending most nights up on a fell somewhere, I would think. But if the weather's atrocious, I've got this, and then I might have a night of luxury just in the back of the van. So still loads to do on the van. I'm going to be putting the bulkhead in. I'm going to put some lights, little, you know, twinkly lights. I've got the fold out bed now, which I'll show you in the next video, and a storage idea which is kind of a cheat, but it works really well. I'm really chuffed with it, but I'll do that in the next van video. Whether that comes before the camp video, I don't know. Who knows? Stay tuned, and if you've stuck with me this long, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please press the like and subscribe button, and I will see you at the next one.